Ministers who put a high value on lifestyle and appearance and yet charge the poor so much for their teachings that they can't receive the teachings and grow in the Lord. We have failed the Lord. If we do this, we are failing God. For is it not written, shepherds of Israel who have been feeding yourselves, should not shepherds feed the sheep? You eat the fat, you clothe yourselves with wool, you slaughter the fat ones, but you do not feed the sheep. The weak you have not strengthened. This is what I'm talking about. These people are weak. They're the ones who need these teachings. They're the ones who need to be strengthened. You know, as shepherds, we're here to feed the sheep. We're not here to fatten our purses. God has given these teachings freely, and people who have money support these ministries. Should we then exact the price that the world would charge from those who can't afford it? I don't think so. I think there's going to be quite an accounting to be done before the Lord for the people who needed these very teachings but could never get them because the price was too high. You know, we really don't have any time to waste on ourselves. In Matthew 25, it's written, "Who then is the faithful and sensible slave whom his master put in charge of his household to give them their food at the proper time? Blessed is that slave whom his master finds so doing when he comes." And if we're not giving food to the hungry and to the poor and to the ones who need it, we're not going to be counted as a blessed slave in that hour when the Lord comes. And we all know that hour is very near. We might be tempted to say, well, what does this have to do with me, or what does this have to do with the rapture? Well, I'd like to say plenty. Do you think a just and loving God who sees the needs of the poor right in our own backyard, constantly ignored and passed over, while wealth is applauded in the church, do you see the Lord taking this woman for his bride? I don't see that. God help us. In conclusion, I'd like to say I challenge you wealthy Christian teachers to make room for the poor in your teachings. The poor who live in the neighborhoods you pass through on the way to work. The poor in your own backyard, not the poor in faraway countries. And to every family enrolled in the food stamp program, or those living in substandard housing or driving substandard cars with many children in the family, please consider their greater need for your teachings and make the appropriate arrangements to see to it that they get them without sacrificing their over-the-counter medicines and car expenses to have just one of your teaching CDs. Please consider what I'm saying. They need those teachings more than the people who can afford them. In conclusion, thank you for listening and taking these suggestions to heart. And the Lord bless you as you bless others.